Hello everyone, welcome back to Note to Self. Today is part 5 of my 5-part Unbothered Energy series. So if you haven't checked out the previous 4 episodes, be sure to do so. This series is life-changing. Unbothered Energy and deeply understanding this is life-changing. It truly creates so much freedom, so much peace, and ultimately, isn't that what we all want? So if you haven't had a chance yet, it's very important to listen to those 4 previous episodes because they create the foundation for this final episode in the series. So over the last few episodes, we've talked about why calmness is magnetic, why your peace is expensive, why you don't need to explain yourself to everyone, and why silence can be one of the most powerful responses you have. But today, we're talking about something deeper. Because at the end of the day, unbothered energy is not really about what happens around you, it's about what happens within you. Life will always have chaos. People will always have opinions. There will always be moments where someone misunderstands you, where something doesn't go your way, or where emotions rise. So the real question isn't how to avoid these moments. The real question is, how do you become the calm in the storm? Let's start with an important truth. Being unbothered is not a personality trait. Some people think calm people are just wired that way, but emotional stability is not something you are born with. It is something you train. Think of it like building a muscle. When someone goes to the gym for the first time, lifting a weight feels difficult. The muscle shakes, it feels uncomfortable, but the more that muscle is used, the stronger it becomes. Your nervous system works the same way. Every time you pause, instead of reacting, you strengthen your emotional regulation. And there's actual science behind this. Neuroscientists have found that when we repeatedly practice emotional regulation, we strengthen the connection between the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision making, and the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for emotional reactions. In simple terms, every time you pause and respond, instead of reacting, you are literally rewiring your brain for calmness. Unbothered energy is built through repetition. Another important thing to understand is this. The people who appear calm are not emotionless. They simply process their emotions in healthier spaces. Being unbothered does not mean you never feel anger, frustration, sadness, or disappointment. It means you know how to handle those emotions without letting them control your behavior. Think of emotions like waves. If you try to push a wave away, it crashes harder. But if you allow the wave to move through you, it eventually settles. Many people try to suppress emotions. Others release them impulsively. But emotional maturity lives in the middle. You feel the wave, but you don't become the wave. You process. Maybe you journal. Maybe you take a walk. Maybe you breathe and allow the feeling to pass. But the key difference is this. You process emotions in a space that protects your relationships and your peace. Your emotions deserve attention, but they do not deserve to control your behavior. There is also something fascinating happening in every room you enter. Human nervous systems are constantly influencing each other. Psychologists call this co-regulation. It means the emotional state of one person can shift the emotional state of others. If someone walks into a room anxious, stressed, and frantic, people around them start feeling unsettled. But when someone enters a room calm, steady, and grounded, that steadiness spreads too. Your nervous system communicates safety to the people around you. In fact, research shows that humans subconsciously scan each other's facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language to determine whether an environment is safe. So when you are calm, you signal safety. You become what psychologists sometimes call an emotional anchor. And that's one of the reasons unbothered energy is so powerful. Your calmness influences the environment around you without saying anything, without forcing anything, just through your presence. But we also have to be honest about something. The storm will always exist. Life will include difficult conversations, unexpected problems, moments when you feel hurt, moments where you feel misunderstood. Being unbothered is not about eliminating the storm. It's about becoming steady within it. Think about a lighthouse. During a storm, waves crash against the rocks. Wind howls, the ocean becomes chaotic, but the lighthouse remains steady. It doesn't chase the waves, doesn't try to stop the storm. It simply stands grounded and continues shining. That is the energy you cultivate when you master your inner world. You become the lighthouse. When someone truly embodies unbothered energy, they become a different kind of person. Someone who does not react impulsively, someone who protects their energy, someone who trusts themselves, someone who does not chase approval, and someone who disengages from unnecessary drama. Their power doesn't come from controlling everything around them. It comes from mastering themselves. And that kind of self-mastery is incredibly rare, but it is also incredibly powerful. Now, before I close this series, I want to leave you with a simple practice you can use whenever life challenges your peace. Think of it as the 3-step unbothered practice. When something triggers you, try this. First, pause. Take one slow breath before responding. Even a few seconds allows your nervous system to move out of fight or flight mode. Second, observe. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Is it frustration, embarrassment, fear, disappointment? Research shows that naming an emotion actually reduces the intensity of that emotion in the brain. Sometimes I like to refer to this as name it to tame it, or a fear named is a fear tamed. Third, choose your response intentionally. Ask yourself, what response protects my peace? Sometimes that response will be speaking calmly. Sometimes it will be setting a boundary. Sometimes it will be silence. And sometimes it will be simply walking away. This is how emotional mastery develops, moment by moment, choice by choice. And over the last 5 episodes, we've explored what it means to embody unbothered energy. In part 1, we talked about how calmness becomes magnetic. In part 2, we talked about why your peace is expensive and deserves protection. In part 3, we explored the freedom of letting people misunderstand you. In part 4, we talked about the power of silence. And today we've talked about how becoming the calm in the storm is a practice that develops over time. If there is one message I want you to leave with, it is this. The world will always have noise. There will always be opinions, and there will always be moments that try to pull you into reaction. But the person who learns how to stay grounded in the middle of that noise becomes incredibly powerful. Not louder, not more aggressive, just steadier. And steady people change rooms. They change relationships. They change their lives. Unbothered energy is not about feeling nothing. It's about becoming someone who is no longer controlled by everything. And if listening to this series has awakened something inside of you, if you feel the desire to truly embody that version of yourself, the woman who is calm, grounded, emotionally regulated, and focused on rising into her potential, then this is exactly the kind of work I do with my coaching clients. Because learning about these concepts is one thing, but wiring them into your nervous system and your daily life is another. Transformation happens when you practice these skills consistently with support and guidance. In my coaching work, we go deeper to explore patterns that pull you into reaction. We build the emotional regulation and self-trust that allows unbothered energy to become natural. And we support you in stepping into the woman you know you are capable of becoming. The woman who protects her peace, who trusts herself deeply, who moves through life with clarity, confidence, and calm. So if you're ready to do that work, if you're ready to stop being pulled in every direction by the noise of the world and start becoming deeply anchored in yourself, I would love to support you. You can learn more about working with me through the link in the show notes. And if this series resonated with you, it may be a sign that you're ready for the next level. So thank you so much for being here with me on Note to Self and for listening to this series. If this series resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit from these conversations. And remember this, your peace is one of the most valuable things you have. Protect it, practice it, and carry it with you wherever you go. I'll be speaking with you guys in the next episode.